Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Will.
I'm Tamar. This is our review of Married at First Sight. I don't know the episode number like always, but you guys will see in the title. We did record a video last week and it was so good, but Lifetime and YouTube does not want us to be great. We use clips from the show. So because we used clips from the show and sneak peeks, like literally like probably like 2 minutes after uploading it, they actually banned it from like I think the United States. People from the United States are watching it. So yeah. So let's
So we're back. Hopefully you guys can see this whole thing, and hopefully we can make it amazing as we did last week. So you ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go. Well, tonight is gonna have to be all on you, all the energy, everything, because it was so much going on between the experts and so go ahead, start us off.
Sorry. Well, you know what? I don't want to talk over you. You know, some people have said I talk over you. So, you see, it's not me. It's him. It's him. So sometimes when I'm over talking, Anyway. Okay, so, who do you want to start with? Okay,
well, tonight was mainly about the experts finding out, not only the good things, but what irritates all everyone. And first, they saved Haley and Jacob for last. I don't know why, but let's start
I
with...
think they saved like not I think maybe it was like the boring I don't know. Okay, so you want to go, let's start with Eric and Virginia, or you know what, let's talk about Paige and Chris. We're gonna bring them up first because
Yes.
I know at this point everybody is irritated with Paige and Chris. So basically in this episode, it's a little past the halfway mark, and the couples are meeting with the experts to like fine-tune what discussions need to be said in the marriage so they can say yes to a real marriage. They are really married, but after this process is done. And so let's talk about what Paige said first. So let me go into, I don't have much notes, but so basically Dr. Pepper is through with Paige. Like, she was like, I mean, I'm sorry, not through with Paige, she's through with Chris. She was like, he's a narcissist. She said it multiple times, and she's over it. She is so over Chris.
Yeah, she let it be shown tonight. I know you felt like tonight everything you've been saying, the experts covered everything from every single person.
Yeah, she let the people have it. She let them have it, and she called Chris a narcissist. And then she called him an extraordinary narcissist. And then Chris meets with Pastor Cal. And Pastor Cal was a lot nicer, gave him a lot of grace than I would have.
No, I felt like Pastor Cal gave it to him tonight.
But he said it in a non-condescending way. I feel like he came to Chris in love. Like, he was very truthful, he was very honest, but he still came to Chris in love.
I think if, like, from my perspective, I thought Pastor Cal didn't hold back. I felt like in the beginning he held back a little bit, but tonight he really like let it loose.
But you know why? Because he basically said Paige was ugly. Like,
wait. But let's start with the disrespect of Chris walking up in there 45 minutes
late
to an hour late, had him waiting. So number one, if I'm Pastor Cal, this guy already,
and he still came at him with love. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, in his situation, being a pastor, you can't just be like, oh, what the F is wrong with you? You know, he
Sure,
gotta
but
still.
even Chris's own pastor didn't even show him that much grace after Chris was on his BS.
Yeah. So basically, Chris, it just like if you just look at his face, I felt tonight. Usually he has a lot of pushback. Tonight he really Pastor Cal was giving it. Pastor Cal pushback was on point.
Mm-hmm.
Where whenever Chris said anything, Pastor Cal, his facial expressions, he was on top of everything. You know.
Yep.
So is there anything particular?
So no, you cut out the whole part where he called Paige ugly, which we
that's what started
I've been
everything.
saying
That's
this.
how it started.
Pastor Cal said, first of all, Chris is one to talk.
Mm-hmm.
He is no Denzel Washington. He is no Idris Elba. He is not. His face is badly built. His body's badly built, and his personality is badly built. So he's the last one to talk. It is always the hideous ones that always are so picky.
And
we. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So we knew, from our first review, we knew Chris wasn't gonna like Paige. Pastor Cal knew he wasn't going to be physically attracted, and Pastor Cal tried to bring that up to the other two experts, and but he was like, you know what, she has a nice body. And this is not the first time where Pastor Cal was shut up. In my least favorite season, Dallas, the same thing happened when Pastor Cal tried to bring up a man's preference on looks.
First of all, like, once you reach a certain age, this is just my belief. I don't believe anyone should be called ugly. I believe that, there's someone for everybody at some point in their life.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
And
one thing I could say is they knew Chris was picky. And, Paige, now she's the Zoe to his bow. But I don't like calling people ugly. But Paige isn't the best looking person that they've had on the show.
I think like when you go around like everything about her and you just focus on that one little thing, shows exactly what Dr. Pepper was talking about. And like I was saying,
Dr. Cal.
Dr. when she called him a narcissist
and
all this other stuff, like, for example,
sorry, I'm like pushing
once you reach a certain age, like, for example, if you put the prettiest woman from China versus the prettiest woman from Africa, and you say who looks better, it's hard to really make that decision.
That's like apples to oranges. Like, for example, like, we can call what it is.
Yeah.
We can say, like, if you have Brianna and Paige are the same complexion. But Brianna's prettier than Paige.
Mm-hmm. I had a point, though. My point is, once you become an adult, like, that should go out the window. The fact that he's looking directly at her face.
And I 100% agree with that.
Like, you should no longer be looking at women for just their face anymore. Yes, there's things, like you would like as far as attraction, but Chris should have some sort of, like Pastor Cal said, like, obviously you've been in a few marriages, and you should really question yourself.
And I agreed with that because, first of all, Chris, like, at the end of the day, beauty is fleeting. Looks can be deceiving, and at the end of the day, it's not about looks. It's so much more. Like Will's not my type. I mean, he is.
I mean,
but we
both kind of said the same thing.
Don't try to play. But what I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, there's other things that you should not go after someone just 100% based on looks, especially if you are not Michael B. Jordan, and Michael B. Jordan's not even, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you are not having people faint all over you yourself, and you want a certain type of life, and you don't even come from a beautiful family yourself. His grandma was pretty, though.
Yeah.
You should not be talking, and you should, like, if Paige had everything else you needed, and you wanted, and it was just her face, that shows his maturity level.
And Pastor Cal even said, like, we gave you this opportunity to tell us. You know, like,
he said he's open.
Like, he was open to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then Chris had the nerve to sit up there and say, well, out of all the women in the world, you know, those wasn't his exact words, but you know what I mean. You guys could have picked someone better. At least.
Like I said, watching other seasons, I've been watching this show for years. So watching other seasons of this show, the women I want to be careful in what I'm saying because I don't want to call Paige ugly. However, watching other seasons, the women don't typically look like Paige. And I can compare other women that have that same look, and they're like Jasmine from Philly. I felt like she was gorgeous. Same complexion, same body build as Paige, but she was facially, she was a little bit prettier. So I feel like I said this weeks ago that Chris went on this show, saw all the women that have been on this show, especially the black women, because some of the white women haven't always been like 10s. But the black women that have been on Married at First Sight are genuinely very beautiful and have a certain trophy wife look that he's looking for, whether they're light skin or dark skin or brown skin. And I feel like Chris went on here to make Mercedes, his ex, jealous. Like, I don't need you. I can get married like this. My personal opinion.
And I think also I'm gonna be honest. Like, would Paige be the first thing I go after? No. When I first seen Paige up there, I literally said, as the show was airing, it was coming on, I said, no, they're not gonna work. They're not gonna work. He's not gonna be attracted to her.
You did.
And the reason why I said that, not to judge a book, not to look at her, which I did, and you know, my first impression was, you know, I seen that, you know, she wasn't my type either, but that doesn't mean I don't give it a shot. That doesn't mean I don't fully put my heart into it.
I agree.
And give the show an opportunity, because once you saw her with different looks, there's an attractiveness that can be built up, and you can also see that she is not as ugly as or as unattractive as I thought myself.
Yeah, she's,
you know what I mean?
She's not. I think what happens, and I pointed it out, and I even saw another review. Like, they know how superficial Chris is, and Paige, she has a lazy eye on top of it. And I'm not like I said, I got my eye issues sometimes with my cornea, but like, it's like she's not the traditional beauty, right? And then on top of it, she has a lazy eye, so he's probably just staring at her face. Yeah. And I don't mean to be laughing at it, but if they could pick a person that was more superficial, then that's what they did.
Well, the thing is, I think if so, it wasn't like, let me explain myself. It wasn't Chris's look about him. Hold on. It wasn't his look about him that made me think, oh, he's not going to be attracted to her. It was his arrogancy. We already knew the kind of woman he liked. Yeah, I knew based on his behavior that he probably wasn't going to go with that. But I at least thought, you know, like everybody else, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and let's see if it works, if it can come across. Yeah. You know, if it's going to work out, you know, because, you know, I felt like the show didn't get a fair chance at picking couples, and my theory about that is, you know, we were going through a pandemic. Yeah. People had to send pictures of what they looked like.
They did video. They didn't see how the people looked in person.
At first, yeah. So they could have like juiced themselves up really good, you know, did some, you know, and they went with, you know, according to them, they look at they cross every I and dot every T as far as couples matches. So it could have been some nice girl, but she, you know, everything else about her could have been horrible and didn't match with Chris. So Paige was the only one that checked all the boxes.
Except for the looks.
Except for her face, according to Chris.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough because It's tough, and I do, and it kind of makes me uncomfortable, because of how society is and how people are very sensitive, especially me as a light-skinned woman talking about a dark-skinned woman. I don't want to. I don't want to. Why am I crying over this? I don't want to talk about. I don't feel like it is my place
to put another woman down.
To put another woman down, and I don't feel like it's my place as a light-skinned woman to put a dark-skinned woman down. Because I don't want to be. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be taken the wrong way, and you know what I mean. Like I don't want it to. And it is tough as a black woman. Like we're always teared down on TV. Like we're never given like a fair fighting chance. We always have like all this, toxicity, and our behinds have to be shown on national television. So it's just a lot of like deep-seated stuff that it's just a lot. And even like before, when everybody realized like Chris wouldn't like him, everybody had this thing like, oh, he probably likes light-skinned women. And then we saw Mercedes, she was brown-skinned, she wasn't even that far off from Paige's complexion, but everybody already assumed, oh, Chris probably likes a Beyonce light-skinned Nicole Ari Parker type. So there's a lot of things that it's like, are people being colorist? And I don't think it's colorist. Like it's a lot. But anyway, let's move on.
Yep. I did have one last point.
Okay.
I can't believe Chris had the nerve to say, well, if I was out with my friends at a bar or
church,
like that,
how do you go from a bar and church?
That that wouldn't be the first girl I choose.
Yeah.
I'm so over.
So over them. So over them. Okay.
Everything else we'll try to make it quick.
Yeah. So let's go to Clara and Ryan. I put capping literally because Ryan had a cap. Capping, pretending everything was okay. Like I feel like they had a conversation. They were like, okay, we're not gonna,
Yeah, they definitely had a conversation.
We're gonna, and I can see Ryan leading that. Everything.
Yeah.
Ryan, both of his parents are pastors.
Yeah.
So unlike Chris, who is a preacher's son, Ryan, who's preacher's son, he cares about his image like most,
Mm-hmm.
like most goody two shoes.
Mm-hmm. But Pastor Cal wasn't having that. He knew she was holding back. And,
both of them were holding back.
And I'm glad he asked the right questions.
Yeah.
And basically, long story short, you want to tell it?
So no, I was gonna say Clara brought up how he never said I love you. That's her thing. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I don't think everybody's up there in Clara's head. Not in the sense of, I don't think she, like, I feel like she, we already talked about this. She says she has sex without any connection. She says I love you to everybody. So I don't think she really truly understands the depth of the man that her husband is. Mm-hmm. She said her dad didn't go to church, so she was forced to go to church. She grew up going to church. Her dad didn't go to church, so she said she knows how a household could work with somebody not going to church. I feel like Ryan should have made it clear when talking to the experts that he wanted a woman that was in the church.
Yeah,
he should have made that clear. To be honest,
he probably didn't really
think about that.
Yeah, it seems like now it could be an issue, but in the beginning, he probably said to himself, I know the type of person I am, and I'm the type of person that can fit and work with anybody, no matter who they give me. I'll be able to work through it and work it out. And
even then, when they were introducing to him, like introducing us to him in the beginning of the season, Ryan didn't. I didn't think we even knew about his faith or his parents being pastors till after the fact. Mm-hmm. Where Chris brought that up. Vincent, he brought up God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember Ryan necessarily bringing up. I could be wrong. That up. So I think he was thinking about the other attributes and forgot that, and that's very, very important when when looking for someone. if you to someone that shares your beliefs and how you want to raise your children, and it's not just like, oh, I want them to be a good person, but literally your belief, your faith, because that could be, you know, you can have issues like that.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Next, let's go to Brianna. No, let's go to Eric and Virginia.
Okay.
They're starting to look alike. They have the same glasses.
Yeah. We met her sister, right?
Yeah.
We met her sister.
And she said, and we learned that Virginia has a fear of being a bad mom. And automatically when I said that, because I'm good at picking up on stuff. And from their wedding, just looking at their mom, looking how her stepmother stepped in when she went to try on her wedding dress, I already knew like her wild streak is from her mom. I already and then like piecing the stories that she's given, I said, oh, so she didn't have, I'm not gonna say her mother was bad, but like probably the experience of not being raised by her own mother and having those abandonment issues. And then she mentioned the story of like things that she went through as a child that her father didn't realize. I think that's what scares her, and maybe because she's a lot like her mother, she thinks that she's going to be that kind of mother. But I love what Pastor Cal said, the fact that she had the intuition to know, or the insight to know, like, I don't want to be a bad mother, shows that she's going to be a good mother, because she has that consciousness.
And I think like with her, you know, I just think she's afraid of also like abandonment. Like she wants to be able to have those conversations and work it out, but at the same time, you know, even as much as she want to work things out, I feel like she really wants it more to go her way, you know, instead of the compromise, you know, because she once again brought up the fact that she wants him to leave his house and go into a place that's theirs. But so I can understand that. But if he has something that's already his, and you're married, that means it's no longer his. It's both of yours.
But it's like with hers was yours is mine was mine,
but she's not understanding that.
And I think it's because of her parents' divorce.
Okay. Yep.
And I come from, my parents separated when I was 3 years old, so so I'm not putting that down, or, you know, before I get, you know, people saying that. But for some people, you know, my mother ended up getting married and stuff, and, you know, so I've had an example, and everybody else in my family was married. My parents were the only ones who were divorced. So I had I always had examples of marriage, right? But if you come from like a toxic family situation with your parents fighting, divorcing, and then your mother leaves to go to another state, and like she does not, her example of a good relationship is her sister and her sister's wife, like her sister and her sister-in-law. So like she doesn't have that example of like, you know, we're sharing, like this is what a healthy married couple does. So I think that has to be worked out, where the other, Eric, his parents have been married for over 30 years. So it's natural. It's natural for him to be like, let me make sure my wife is okay. Let me share with my wife. Because he has seen complete opposite of what she has of what a healthy marriage is.
And I think because of that, it also has an effect on his view of children. You know what I mean? Because it's like he knows what to look for, and that's why I'm glad, you know, at the same time they told her to tell him what marriage looks like to her. You know what I mean? Like, because all we hear about is what marriage looks like to him. Yeah,
because in his mind he sees like a longevity, he sees having a family, having children. That's what marriage is, what his parents have. To her, because she's looking for what she didn't have. She's looking for loyalty. She's looking for the things that her parents didn't give her, and so she's looking for real. She's looking at marriage as something that's you love me no matter what, and where he's looking like it's building a life, and she's looking like someone to love me unconditionally.
What do you think about the conversation with the weekend thing?
With her friends?
Yeah.
So I feel like she doesn't I feel like she wasn't ready to get married, and again, like a lot of these people who come on this show, they want to be married just to be married, and they don't understand that marriage is like a real thing. And so she's basically penciling her husband into her schedule, and her husband is supposed to come first before anybody else.
Yeah.
If I have plans, right, for a month in advance of things, right, I'm gonna say, well, oh yeah, on this day I'm doing this. I tell him in advance. It's not like, yeah, if you want to spend time with me, this is where you can fit in. No. And if I had plans with my friends, or Will had plans with his friends, and something happened to me, or Will wanted to hang out with me, Will's gonna go first, because at the end of the day, that's my husband.
I think when that scene,
and vice versa.
When that scene was taking place, I wanted to see more like them get straight to the point, like, hey, this is the conversation I had, is it possible, can we compromise on this? And her response be, sure, I can do that.
She's not trying to.
But that's not what happened. And I feel like they both took the conversation and tried to get what they wanted out of that conversation versus what would have worked. For example, what would have worked is Eric says, hey, is it possible that, when you go out with I know you like weekends, but is it possible that, I can get a weekend with my wife? And let's say we do the third week in every month, right? Mm-hmm. That would have solved that problem. But he went on to saying, if you have something planned, cancel it. So now she wanted to focus on that being the issue, versus, them.
He has a military mindset where it's just like, I said this and that's it.
Yeah. I felt like he took it a step further when he didn't have to, because he went on to tell her, like, he's using terms and words that's not gonna click with her.
Yeah, he has to speak to her. He's not.
Yeah, so he's like, are you willing to cancel, like, you going out with your friends? And that wasn't the discussion.
Yeah.
That wasn't the compromise.
Right now, she puts her friends before her husband, which is terrible. Like I said, I should be the one that's coming first. And and we hang out with our friends. Like, Will and I have been together since college, so literally my entire young adult life, since I was 18 years old, I've been with Will. So my entire 20s, I'm hanging out, and I still had fun, still traveling. You go on boys trips with your friends. We understand, like, you can still have fun with your friends, but you need to put your spouse first,
and she needs to understand that.
Exactly. And this is why I don't give her sympathy for being 26 and wanted to hang out with her friends, because at 20 I made it work, at 21 I made it work, and I lived life. So BS. Okay,
let's try to fly through that.
Okay, Brianna and Vincent. He just started his business. I thought he started.
Yeah, I caught that too. I was like, wait. So y'all not gonna just speed past that,
So yeah, so he just started his business.
They kind of reminded me and you, like in the beginning, like when I first met her, and well, even to the last few years ago, when we do budgets and stuff, you're like the one initiating those conversations. But they were having like budget issues, and Brianna, she wanted this. She wanted to spend $400 on that, and I understand what he's saying. But here's I'm gonna defend Brianna here. yes, you are spending too much. But what she's trying to say is, like, because I have a feeling Vincent is trying to be like me. He's trying to get more of a laid back, chilling marriage. And he's trying to use the fact of her spending too much to get that. You know, like, I like staying in the house. You know this.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like going anywhere.
Okay, yeah, and it irks my nerves. So here's the thing. Brianna was like, oh, yeah, I'm good with budgeting and all this. And then she was the main one spending all that money. Like me, I am frugal. But I love being fabulous. But I don't... my mom did my hair for me. The last time my locks I had, somebody from my church did it for me. I don't spend... she said she spent $250 on her braids. I don't spend that.
You are kind of bougie like her.
I am bougie,
but she's like all the way bougie. I'm like bougie. $200 dinners all the time.
I'm bougie on a budget, and I'm like her. I'm very adventurous. I travel. I would rather take my money and travel. I would rather take my money and instead of buying something full price, go to like a designer's outlet, factory outlet, and and I still have my designer stuff.
You can give us some tips.
Yeah, like I don't. So to me, I was like, yo, she's ODing, and we go out to eat, we go on dates all the time. But I felt like it was excessive, but that's her life if she has it. But I understood what Vincent was saying because I also have that thing of like, I didn't grow up with stability. Of course I had my parents and stuff like that, but I know what it's like to be poor one minute, have money the next, be poor 1 minute. And like for me, I tell myself I don't want to ever know like what it's like to feel that feeling of swiping a card and hoping it's going to go through, or like I love living comfortably in money. Like I love that fact. Like I don't I don't like the feeling of living paycheck to paycheck. I just don't like that feeling. And like you said, Vincent is like you, but where I just can't stand it. Will just be like, he just wants to lay down, go to sleep all the time.
But I don't sleep in all day.
No, okay, just like what she said. Like he said, like, oh, he'll sleep. Will, like, is always tired. Like, always tired. Oh, and just wants to watch Netflix. And it just, like, irks my nerves. So that's why I still hang out with my friends, because my husband is just, he'd rather just play video games and just watch Netflix and take a nap. That's literally his day, if he's not working. So, yeah.
I wouldn't say all that,
no,
but...
it is. Okay, so... what?
No, while you get the next person, Vincent... Vincent has a habit of being in his feelings too much.
Like you?
Yeah, but you can see it on national TV. He's just like, whenever he don't like something, he goes into that.
But Will does that, but I think what happens is the producers are there to catch it.
I think I really did his face.
Yeah, but because you know how to do his face because you do that face. Like I catch him all the time, and I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. Because I don't feel like hearing whining. I don't feel like I look at his face, and he's like, what? I didn't say nothing. And because there's a lot of Brianna and Vincent in us. So we get them, and then finally,
are you sure that's the last?
Haley and Jacob. Yeah, we did everybody except for Haley and Jacob. Alright, so Dr. Pepper called out what I said about
you've been
saying
Haley. You've been saying
like
that.
I'm so happy somebody pointed that out. Like so basically Dr. Pepper said she wants someone to just drop in and fit into her life. I feel like Haley, like I've been saying, so all her friends getting married, and she had these high expectations. She was with this guy for a long time. They didn't, she probably was in a relationship first before all her friends. She broke up with the guy, and then all of a sudden everybody else is getting married, and then she's like, oh, what am I gonna do with my life? And so, but I don't feel like she was ready for marriage. She was in love with the idea of marriage, but she was never ready for marriage. She said her parents set high expectations. She set high expectations for herself. So she probably had a quarter life crisis, because I think she's like 26 or 27, and was like, oh, I can't believe I've accomplished this, but I haven't done this. And but yeah, but like I've been saying, she wanted to get married because her friends were doing it, but she doesn't want to do the work. She does not want to do the work of marriage. She doesn't understand that marriage is work.
Mm-hmm. And I want to focus on a moment where well, there's two moments that got me. Like, one where, come on, just because you're being held accountable, you don't have to cry. Like, come on, like, I understand. I feel bad. I have feelings for people. You know, I get it. But come on, it was just a little criticism, and you go crying, because all that just shows, like, you know, they were right. You know, you need to, like, extend yourself a little bit more. But the only part where I defend her is when she does actually try, he don't give, really. Like, come on, 10 years and you couldn't tell anything, just dating. Like,
he looks like he's a boring man.
Yeah,
he enjoys
like
his
I
house.
Said, Henry from last season. Like, as far as, like, them just like, yep. Ask me a question. Ask me a question. I'm gonna do what he does. Ask me a question.
How was your day?
You know, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he does. I need to stop. Put some life. Like, baby, I had a good time. You know, do something.
Okay. Well, not everybody could be like you. Not everybody could be like you. But anyway, guys.
Sorry for having you up late. As you can see, show ends late on our time. We're Eastern.
Yeah, we're Eastern. So all of you on the West Coast should, like, get this, like, right after.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to, like, upload this now so I can go to bed. Sorry you guys didn't get to see our video from last week.
Yeah.
But until next time, bye, guys.
See you guys. Bye.